Hello, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, today, Grandma wants to tell you the story of Jonah, the prophet who fled. And that is going to be the chapter that we're studying this coming week in our Come Follow Me. Nineveh. It was such a large city that it took a man 3 days to journey from one side to the other. That's probably not going too fast. The people of Nineveh had become so wicked that the Lord was ready to destroy them, but he wanted to give them one last chance to repent. Because remember, the Lord is very merciful, and if we repent, he will forgive us. Well, the Lord called the prophet Jonah, saying to him, "Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me." Jonah did not want to go to Nineveh. Perhaps he was afraid of what the people would do, but also Nineveh was the city of the Assyrians, and they were the enemies of Jonah and his people. So Jonah didn't want to go to be amongst his enemies. So he decided to run away from the calling the Lord had given him. He hurried to a nearby seaport and found a ship heading for Tarshish, a city far away from Nineveh. After paying his passage, he boarded the vessel and went below and fell asleep. Soon after the ship had departed, the Lord sent a mighty wind over the sea. The waves pounded so wildly against the sides of the ship that the mariners were afraid it would be destroyed. Frantically, they began to throw the cargo overboard so that the ship would not sink so far into the water. Everyone prayed for safety, everyone except Jonah. The shipmaster found Jonah sleeping and demanded, "What meanest thou, O sleeper? Arise, call upon thy God so that we perish not." Everyone was calling upon whatever God they believed in. Their fear grew, and the sailors decided to cast lots to find out who had sinned and caused the Lord to bring the storm upon them. The lot fell upon Jonah. They questioned Jonah, asking him who he was, where he came from, and why he was there. Jonah answered their questions, telling them he was trying to run away from the Lord and the call to be a missionary to Nineveh. Knowing he was the cause of the storm, Jonah said, "Take me up and cast me forth into the sea, so that the sea will be calm for you. For I know that for my sake this great tempest is upon you." But the men did not want to throw Jonah overboard. They made one more effort to row the ship to land, but they could not. Something had to be done. Praying the Lord would forgive them, they took Jonah and threw him over the side of the boat into the sea. And then the angry waters became calm. When Jonah disappeared into the waves, a huge fish, which the Lord had prepared, came from the depths of the sea and swallowed him so that he would not drown. Inside the dark stomach of the fish, Jonah began to think about what he had done. He was sorry he had refused to preach the gospel in Nineveh, and he wanted to repent. He began to pray. After 3 days, his prayers were answered, and the Lord caused the fish to vomit Jonah out onto dry land. The Lord again called to Jonah, "Arise, go into Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee." This time Jonah obeyed. That was twice the Lord had to tell him what to do. When he entered Nineveh, Jonah began to prophesy, "Yet 40 days, and Nineveh shall be destroyed." But Instead of being angry and trying to kill him, the people accepted Jonah and believed his words, and they proclaimed a fast. The king sent a decree throughout the land, saying, "Let neither man nor beast, herd nor flock taste anything. Let them not feed nor drink water." Then the people prayed mightily that they would be forgiven, and they turned from their evil ways. The Lord heard their sincere prayers and saw that they had repented. So he forgave the people and saved them from destruction. Now, I think this is a very interesting story. Jonah didn't want to do what the Lord asked him to do. For one reason, he didn't like the people of Nineveh. They were his enemy. Have you ever had enemies? And sometimes you think, well, you deserved that. And so if something bad happens to them, you go, oh, well, that's what they get. They deserved it. But that is not how the Lord operates. The Lord wants to forgive us. He wants us to repent. And if we repent, we don't have to have terrible consequences. He will forgive us. So I hope we can learn a lesson from Jonah and don't run away from what the Lord wants us to do, and be forgiving to all people. Remember, Grandma loves you.